All right, I think we'll go ahead and get started. Good morning, everyone. Hope you're doing well. This is Katie Johnson calling in from Denver. We're really excited that you're able to join us for today's Marketing Affinity call. We're really pleased to have Heather from Hyatt join us as well. So again, welcome. And I am recording this call today too. So for those of you that get to join us, that's great. But I'll also be sending out a link to those that aren't able to join us today so they can hear what Heather has to say and just see what we're sharing from a destination brand perspective. So for today's agenda, we are going to welcome our new Marketing Affinity team leader. So we'll talk about the transition there. We also have some new marketing members across the collection that we want to introduce. We'll give some updates as it relates to the destination brand, and then we'll turn it over for some Hyatt updates from Heather. So we'll go ahead and get started with the Marketing Affinity team. We wanted to, first of all, thank Kirsten Gwynn and the co-chairs from 2018 for a really great year. We really appreciate all the content and best practices and just sharing a lot of great information with us last year. And we're excited to welcome some new members to the team. And also, we did want to mention one thing too. Keela Lester, who many of you have worked with, has been spearheading the Marketing Affinity team and will be leaving us, unfortunately. So her last day will be on Friday, but please reach out and just let her know how much we appreciate her. She is on the call today. So Keela, thank you so much for all of your help in leading this team and all the things that you've done for Destination. We will miss you, but we know our paths will cross again. And then we also wanted to welcome our new Marketing Affinity team leaders. And this group here is really here to help support you. Everything from sharing best practices and tips. They're here if you need a shoulder to lean on or have any concerns or questions. These are experts in the field that are your peers and really here to help support you. So no question is too big or too small. So I encourage you to reach out to each one of them and really get to know them. So I want to welcome Hillary Sandbach from Destination Residences Hawaii, Emmy Carragher from CAA, Kathy Lacey from L'Auberge Del Mar, Natalie Fournier from Christiania, Destination Resorts Vail and Monteneros. We also have Ashley Irving from Wild Dunes and Bob Smith from Scottsdale Resort. So as you can see, this group really showcases the diversity in our properties, right? So we have everything from urban resorts, lifestyle brands, multifaceted resorts, residences. So again, if you have a property similar to them, you might want to reach out to them and again, just share best practices and really ask for their support if you need any. We also want to welcome some new members to our field. So Lauren Lavassier is at Motif, and you may have seen her name before because she was actually with us at the Woodmark. So we're happy to see her stay within the family and just change locations, which is great. So welcome. Alicia Cooper is our marketing manager at Resorts Squaw Creek. So we're excited to have her on board. And then Steven is our new marketing manager at Carmel Valley Ranch. And if I forgot anyone, please let me know because we want to make sure we give them a warm welcome and do the proper onboarding and orientation for them as well. So please join me in welcoming this new team. All right, we'll do some quick home office updates. So first, we just wanted to touch on Destination Sense. So you probably have seen a lot of emails from Keela and myself rolling out this program. We're really, really excited to see all of the great submissions and the ways in which you're bringing the destination brand promise of share and discover to life on property through this very experiential program. So thank you for sending your cards. We're getting a lot of proofs back and printing those pieces. So thanks again for making this program come to life. What we're working on currently is the website. So Alex is with me here in Denver, and he's done a fantastic job at rolling out the new landing page for the Sense program on the Destination website. So definitely check it out. You can go to destinationsense.com. It has some really great interactive video content and really showcases the breadth of this program. So next phase is really working with you and building out your individual property pages and putting that content online. So we actually worked with Kathy Lacey to create a property example page, and it's awesome. Thank you, Kathy, so much for being our support there. We will be sharing that process in a couple weeks. I think we decided February 18th.
Yeah.
We're going to schedule a call with the field, and Alex will walk you through that process. He's made it pretty turnkey, so we're really excited to see this program come to life online. And then we're also supporting it through many different ways. So through social media, like I said, we're doing a video. We're working with Christina, who's our new PR contact at Hyatt, to help promote it through her resources. So we're really, working to amplify this program, and it really ties us together. It's that red common thread from a guest experience standpoint for the Destination Collection. So we really appreciate the creativity, the passion, and the ideas, and we're happy to share what everybody's doing too, because you'll see there's some really interesting and creative ways that this program is coming to life. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me or Keela. Okay, we're going to turn it over to Alex real quick to do a campaign overview.
Awesome. Thank you, Katie. Hello, everyone. So just a couple slides from me on some of our brand campaigns. As you are well aware, the winter campaign ended on January 31st. So I had our friends from the revenue team do a direct production poll, and the results are what you are seeing on the screen. So the campaign ran from October 1st, 2018 through January 1st, 2019, so about a 4-month campaign. Was bookable online through property and brand websites, through voice or call center, as well as the GDS. So the Destination Collection brought in over $1.6 million from this campaign, which was awesome to see. Over 2,200 bookings, accounting for over 6,300 room nights, an average daily rate of $251 from across the collection, pretty good, and the average length of stay just under 3 days. So I think that's key, as a lot of our brand campaigns do strive to drive that length of stay and ADR. So almost an average of 3 days across the collection was great to see. You can see the other brands' results there to the right, totaling for over $4.8 million in direct revenue. So a highly successful campaign, and we did not run one of these last year. In 2017, after the Cyber Week campaign, we actually took a little bit of a break and then started back up in spring. So I think this gives us some great reasoning on why to continue to push in Q3, Q4, kind of that fall and winter timeframe with a brand level campaign, because we generated almost $5 million. So thank you everyone for participating. And this screenshot I know is tiny, and I will send out these details as I work on my final wrap up of the winter campaign, which should be early next week. This is a screenshot from the production report, and I put some smiley faces next to some properties that had high production rates. So Cliff House, always does well, just under $300,000 generated from this campaign. Hotel Derrick, being an urban property, I thought did great. 65-ish, $68,000 generated from the campaign. One of those on the smaller property side. Montaneros, I wanted to do a good call out from like the Residence Collection. We saw some great numbers there, over $60,000 or just about $60,000 in revenue. So great work there, Natalie. Paradise Point, great job, almost over 200,000 in revenue. Scottsdale did awesome, 75K. Tempe did awesome. Elms, for being a newer destination property, did fantastic. And then the Woodmark, over 70,000 as well. So great job to those properties. Next up, we have the launch of the spring campaign, which launched on Monday. So the bookable dates for this campaign are from February 4th through April 30th. So 3-month campaign, and really trying to capture that spring break travel, couples, families, anybody that takes a spring break trip, we want to capture. Spring is in the top 3 travel periods of the year, followed by holiday and summer travel. So we wanted to get to market as early as we could and try and capture that. So the stay dates for this campaign are going to be from February 4th through, I think that's the Wednesday after Labor Day. We have seen some great success with extending our stay dates for a long period of time. So if our advertising or marketing does capture the eye of a guest, but spring doesn't necessarily work for them, maybe they want to do a late summer trip, it's still effective and applicable to them. So our stay dates are through September 4th for this campaign. The offer is up to 20% off plus a daily $25 resort credit. And I kind of go into more detail there below, but since ancillary outlets are so important and key for the Destination Collection as a whole, we wanted to include, an enticing offer component for our guests to really get them into the door of the property outlets. So whether that be restaurant and F&B or spa or golf, whatever that may be, we wanted to provide an avenue for them to get in the door and really help out the properties drive that revenue. So I included the landing page link there so you guys can check it out if you haven't seen it. Got some really cool animation to the compass, which I think is pretty fun. And I will certainly keep everyone posted on monthly progress with this campaign. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thanks, Alex. All right, perfect. We're going to move on. We're really excited and delighted to have Heather join us today. She's the VP of Global Brands for Hyatt, and I've had the privilege of working with Heather since November through a lot of this brand work, and I can tell you she's really passionate about our brand. She's really excited about the Destination Collection, and she truly cares about what each and every one of you are doing. So we've had a really great relationship so far. I'm really excited for her to join us today and really talk about herself, her role with Hyatt, and how that impacts all of us, and then answer any questions that you may have. So Heather, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Thanks so much, Katie. I thought that a good way to always start a call is with a self-deprecating photo. So I just wanted to take a minute and talk to you a little bit about me. But first, before I get into that, let me talk about Katie. Katie is a gem, and we are so excited that she has decided to come over and join the Hyatt family. I mean, obviously, her knowledge of branding and unique positioning of not only brands in the hospitality space, but of individual properties in their markets and what it takes to make them competitive is something that we see as a huge opportunity to learn a lot from what you're doing and what you've done well and what she's been able to help build with Destination. So I'm so excited to have her as a part of the team. Clearly, I have a lot to learn, and I will learn a lot from her, but she has been not only a critical force for this brand, but really critical player in the integration work that we have done as we think about how the new brands fit with the Hyatt portfolio and what our go-to-market strategy is, and will continue to play a leadership role in that way. So I'm so excited about that relationship. A little bit about me. I'm from Chicago. I grew up in the western suburbs of Chicago, left for a while after college, and just recently moved back when I took the role with Hyatt just about 3 years ago. It'll be 3 years in August. So I did start in Hyatt in August of 2016 as a vice president of field marketing and creative services, which meant that I oversaw the field marketing for all of our hotels in the Americas. So all of our Hyatt's full service hotels across brands from Canada to Argentina. It was about 300 hotels. And then also we have in-house creative services. So our studio that does all of our logo design and graphic design, does a lot of our corporate advertising for us, as well as building out things like hotel templates and toolkits across operations and sales marketing. So it was a great way to start at Hyatt because I was new to hospitality. So starting at from the ground up is probably the best way to learn a new industry. And I'm so privileged that I did because I did assume the role of overseeing full service brands in October of 2017. So I've been in this role for a little bit over a year. So I oversee our full service portfolio, which prior to the acquisition includes Park Hyatt, Grand Hyatt, Hyatt Regency, Andaz, Hyatt Centric, and the Unbound collection by Hyatt, and oversee those brands globally. Before I came to Hyatt, I was the vice president of brand marketing at MSNBC, the cable network in New York, and then worked at a number of creative agencies in New York City, and began my career in Washington, D.C. I have 2 kids who are 12 and 8. I have a husband, and I have a really rambunctious Labradoodle who's very badly behaved because we were bad puppy parents. I really do love yoga. I love to try new restaurants with my family, eat out. I love to play games with my kids, and we do love to travel. So that picture of me actually is in Shanghai. I had an opportunity to visit our Andaz hotels around the world. We're developing custom scents for each of our Andaz hotels. And so part of what we wanted to make sure was that that scent was connected to the unique hotel stay experiences. So we actually went and visited the destinations as a global traveler would, to seek the inspiration we need for the development of these custom scents. So the picture you see there is of me going on a sidecar tour in a blizzard in Shanghai, which was an incredible experience, and certainly helped me better understand the market and the opportunity that we have to create immersive experiences for our guests in Shanghai. Katie, I think you can move on. Great, so this is the team. So I'm super excited to share the Global Brands team, and I'm so glad that Katie and Ben are on there too. And I was not in this picture, unfortunately, because it is when I was in Asia. But this team is a combination of kind of the areas that I oversee, which is global brands, the creative studio, full service field marketing, all three of those areas. So this is the team, and if you want to go on to the next slide, I can show a little bit more detail. So this is kind of what we're plugging into. I report directly to Mark Von Drasek. Mark is our Chief Commercial Officer. So at Hyatt, we're organized with a commercial services function. This is a reorganization that happened about a year ago. So it's relatively new, but what it does integrate basically under Mark is our loyalty program, World of Hyatt. It integrates our sales organization, our global sales organization. It integrates our global digital organization. It includes our call center and distribution networks. It includes our wellness brands, which are Miraval and Exhale. It includes our regional counterparts in ASPAC and in EME. It includes communications, so obviously both our corporate communications function as well as our brand communications support. I think that's all of it, but the great thing is it's basically everybody who's responsible for driving the business and contributing directly to revenue generation now sits together. And what we found as a result of this is that we are really working so much more cross-functionally and integrated in an integrated fashion to really drive revenue back to all of our properties and to really be able to solve business challenges as one unit, which has been incredible. I oversee a couple of different functions. So I do oversee our studio, our creative studio. So a couple of folks there that are responsible. I will oversee development marketing for the Americas. So we're in the process of hiring somebody who will be the lead on supporting our Americas development team in the creation of resources and strategies and as we go to market with our brands. Full service field marketing for the Americas, and then our global brands team. So what you'll see there is how our global brands team is currently structured. I have a number of directors, of which Katie is the newest, that oversee collections of brands. So I have Regency Grand and Centric right now that are together, Park Andaz and the Unbound collection, which is our Hyatt's legacy collection of independent hotels. Katie, who's coming on obviously with Destination, and we're actively looking to hire a director for our lifestyle brands portfolios. You can go on to the next slide. So here's just a little bit more detail about like what we as a global brands organization do. And it's pretty wide ranging. And again, we don't do this on our own. We very clearly work with cross-functionally with a lot of our partners, but the places where we do tend to take a little bit of a lead is in brand strategy and positioning. So how are we positioning our brands competitively, really refining our target guests, brand standards development and support. I have BEGs there, which are basically what we call our brand experience guides, which are just, kind of overviews and guidance on how our brands go to market. Evolution of brand strength and identifying opportunities to strengthen brand awareness, consideration, and loyalty. So we do have a dedicated consumer insights team that we work very, very closely in tracking key metrics as it relates to brand health and affinity, likelihood to recommend. They're a critical partner for us across the brand strategy front. And then brand education. So how are we educating our sellers and our developers and our hotel colleagues and our owners even about what our brands are, what they stand for, and the opportunities that they have in the marketplace. Obviously, brand marketing, everything from driving transient bookings on our platforms, how are we really telling our stories in unique and ownable ways, supporting B2B and sales efforts to drive group business and engage travel advisors and meeting planners, really working closely with the loyalty team on how are we enticing and incentivizing World of Hyatt members to stay and to try our brands, and then obviously focused communications and marketing for our owners and developers. Brand experience and amplification. So what are some brand level partnerships that we may be able to do to help drive differentiation? Thinking about things like brand events or programming pillars. Very similar programs to what Katie has deployed with the Senses are very similar to the kind of programs that we have deployed across our brands, which really is focused on amplifying the unique experiences that are happening on property. And then obviously partnering with operations and design services and things we can do to enhance the guest experience and increase efficiency on property. And then field support. So really working closely with our hotels on things like branded resources and toolkits for hotels, support for local or regional offers and initiatives. We're structured a little bit different in terms of how we go to market with offer strategy, but clearly Alex, as a part of our team, we're learning a lot about how traditionally offers have been handled at Two Roads and are making sure, I think we have a lot to learn actually from the ability to centralize and really go to market with a cohesive offer strategy. It's something that we continue to evolve based on needs and based on brands requirements. So a lot that we can learn from Alex and what you guys have already done in terms of approach to offer strategy. We promote new hotel openings, unique property experiences, education and support for on-property sales and marketing leaders, and then again, brand education at the local level. So that was my overview. I mean, I think I had a couple of things. I looked at some of the questions that you shared with Keela, and I'm happy to open it up to questions as they come. I wanted to give a little bit of a update first and foremost on kind of brand integration and what that's looking like. So as I mentioned, we, meaning some key folks at Hyatt, so our folks in our brands organization and our consumer insights group, to work really closely with Katie and our brand colleagues and operational colleagues at Two Roads to start to think about what the narrative, what our new narrative is as Hyatt with the integration of these brands. And the reason the opportunity as a brand leader was so incredible for me and hopefully for everybody who was a part of this process is it wasn't just about how do we plug these new brands into Hyatt. I think we really saw this as a transformational opportunity to think differently about what Hyatt means and how we can go to market with these brands and what the unique equity that you all have built offers us in terms of opportunities to think about our message to consumers and owners and others. So what we really did was look at, laid everything out and really tried to look at unique points of difference in the brands, what are points of commonality, and how can we start to think about a portfolio strategy to articulate what our promise is now moving forward. So there's been a lot of work that's been done with that. It's been shared and evolved cross-functionally. So we've shared it with our global development community. We've shared it with our operational leaders. We're working on a parallel a narrative with our developers to share with prospective and current owners. Been done on that, and there's going to be, you all will get invitations now to the Global Town Hall if you haven't already. So every quarter, we do, and sometimes more frequently, we do a global town hall that's hosted by our CEO, Mark Hoplamazian. And one of the key topics for the global town hall, which is February 20th, is the integration work. So that will be an opportunity for him and Mark Von Dressek to really share this work more extensively. It has been shared with some sales leaders, so some of your folks, if you had colleagues that attended Kickstart in Denver, I gave a little bit of a high-level preview of this work, but we're really excited to roll it out. I think it will be good and something hopefully we can all be very proud of. So, these were some other areas that I had in terms of if there were questions that I saw them. Katie, is it best for me to just open it up for questions? I feel like I've been talking a lot and I want to make sure that I give people an opportunity to weigh in.
No, I think you're doing great, because I think these are the big questions, how we transition the websites. I love the idea of, the opportunity. So I think you should cover these, and then maybe Field can open up with questions after that.
Happy to. So websites and branding, I'm sure this is a really big issue. And right now there is a really highly integrated cross-functional team of brand and digital and user experience that are looking at how we're going to bring the properties to life on the Hyatt platforms. Obviously, being able to sell these brands on Hyatt is a huge opportunity. And so Paolo, who I think most of you know, is a Two Roads colleague who has come over as part of Hyatt, has been integrally involved in this kind of rollout strategy. It is a rollout strategy. So the first brands that are going to come online on Hyatt.com are the Thompson hotels, and that's scheduled, I believe, the end of March. It was a great opportunity, given that it's a small portfolio, for us to really kind of test and make sure that we get it right, and that the presence is appropriate. It is not, at that time, they are not sunsetting the existing property sites nor the existing brand sites. So it really is about establishing a light parallel presence on Hyatt.com that allows folks who are coming to Hyatt to be able to book on those properties, but it does not in the short term mean that we're turning on one switch and turning off the other. The existing property sites will continue, and there's a phased kind of approach to that. So the destination wave, I think, in terms of the online integration, is actually the last wave that's happening, and it's scheduled to happen in the fall. So there will be updated communications that will go out to ownership and property teams that really talks a little bit more detail about what that timelining and integration looks like. And it's both obviously integration in terms of the web presence, but also things like systems. So that communication will come directly from that integration team closer to when the destination migration takes place. There were a lot of questions about branding and about whether or not we were going to change the destination logo, whether we were going to change or you were required to change your hotel logos, and the answer is no and no. We're not changing the destination logo or brand. It will continue to exist as it has, and we certainly will not change any or have any sort of impact on changing any sort of property logos. You know, the brands that you've established are powerful. Your stories are your own, and Hyatt has no intention of coming in and changing any of that positioning. So I just wanted to make that clear. There will obviously be communications about opportunities for integration as it may relate to loyalty programs or other opportunities, and that will be communicated as part of the integration strategy. I think in terms of marketing opportunities with Hyatt, I hope that this is a place that we can continue and you see a lot of opportunity. Hyatt has numerous digital and communications platforms that allow us to reach the millions of guests who stay with us globally, including things like, obviously, Hyatt.com, the website, which has dedicated pages related to offers, the homepage, which showcases new openings and high promotional offers. We do have email platforms for Hyatt, including Hone, which is a regular email that goes out at least once a week to every single person who's ever registered to receive an email from Hyatt who is not a member. So that is a non-member communications channel. We have separate, obviously, communications channels for World of Hyatt, including the World of Hyatt website, e-summaries, which are emails that go out to members with their basically account status that get very high open rates and communications. We have So I think part of what we will be talking about as when we get a little bit closer to some of the transition is where are the opportunities for us to both showcase independent hotels that may be doing unique offers or programming, and then where are certainly opportunities for us to really showcase and highlight the destination brand. And there are a lot of things in progress you know, as it relates to making sure that whenever a brand becomes available on Hyatt.com, that we are incenting stay and trial at those properties. I know this is an area that the World of Hyatt team is looking at. We already have in the World of Hyatt program, one of the ways that you can earn free nights is by trying and sampling multiple brands. So if you stay at 5 of our Hyatt brands, you can earn a free night to really make sure that we're driving trial across the portfolio. Obviously, that's a huge opportunity as we think about how we start to incentivize trial from our most valuable guests at our new hotels. So there will be more to come here. Obviously, Katie and I are going to be working really, really closely on what does that look like as we get closer? How are we leveraging those platforms to bring the brand campaign to life, but also making sure that we're clearly communicating and articulating the opportunities for individual hotels. And then lastly, but certainly not least, marketing team and support. As I mentioned, that Katie will continue to be the lead on Destination Hotels. We're super excited about it. We see so many opportunities for her to not only continue to lead this brand, but to grow as a leader here at Hyatt. And so we need to make sure that we are supporting her as well, and supporting all of you by extension. So we will be hiring a manager under Katie who will support in the day-to-day. And we will also be working on aligning some additional field marketing resources behind Katie, especially as we get closer to Hyatt integration, making sure that there is a Hyatt resource who really understands our systems and processes to help make sure that you all and Katie can appropriately direct and support the hotel through the integration process. So we will have more communications about who those folks are and make sure to introduce them to you as soon as we can. I just want to, before we open it up to questions, and I'm happy to answer any questions that I can at this time, I just want to say how excited I am about all of your hotels being a part of Hyatt. It really, truly is for us. We feel it's so accretive. We talk about growing with intent at Hyatt, and it really is about finding brands and properties that are aligned with who we are. And I think one of the things that was so exciting for us, and for me personally as a brand leader, were the parallels in terms of the sense of purpose between the two companies and the cultures. And that's where I see so much opportunity for us to learn from you. We certainly know that we don't have all the answers, and our excitement is about being able to take the best practices and learning and insights that we can get from you about how you've been so successful with your hotels, and really be able to leverage them so that we can make our existing hotels stronger as well. So I'm excited to get on the road too. I've told Katie, I want to make sure that I am out and meeting as many of you as possible. And so I hope to visit as many of your hotels as I can in the next year, or figure out other opportunities for us to meet in person. So I'm very excited to be a part of this. And with that, I think, Katie, I can open it to any questions.
Sure, that'd be great. And one comment as you're all getting ready to ask your questions that, I just wanted to shed some light on too, and I think it'd be great once we do have that brand work available and ready to present, maybe Heather, we could do another call, or I'm sure you'll be doing other ones, but the one thing that really stood out to me with the Hyatt integration is our purpose. And I know we've heard from Jamie and other key leaders with Two Roads about how Hyatt and Two Roads really align from a purpose standpoint. And, our purpose of make someone's day every day was really impactful. And I think it's something that resonates with all of us. And Hyatt's purpose is caring for our people so they can be their best. So it's been really great to work with Heather and her team and everyone at Hyatt, because I think their knowledge, their passion for brands and for our people, it's going to be a great future. And I think there's a lot of benefits that we can receive, and I think there's a lot of things that we can share, to your point, Heather. There's a lot of things that this team does on the call that Hyatt will learn from, and they've been very receptive, and they want to hear from us. And the one thing I'd encourage all of you out there is to continue to share your best practices with me, and share what you're doing from programming and partnerships and things like that, so that we can share that with Hyatt, because those are things that they want to hear about and learn from. So just want to share the culture that we have together, and then also how we can integrate and share our best practices, because you are the experts in the field, and I think there's a lot to be said for that. So want to open it up for questions from anyone in the field, and please don't be shy. We're here to answer anything that we can, and Heather as well.
Hi, Katie and Heather. This is Angelique Saunders here in reservations and also with the GCC. I just have a question in regards to plans for training the Hyatt reservations agents on our brands, especially the Two Roads brands.
Yeah, that's a really good point. So I think what we will do is, and we're working on a series of webinars. So after the February 20th date, which is the town hall, right, which will roll out the higher level integration strategy, then what is going to be scheduled is a series of webinars with kind of key cross-functional teams. So with sales, with development, with our GCC teams to really dig into what does that strategy mean and what are the brands, what is the brand positioning. So there's a couple of things that'll be happening. Also, as part of that integration work, we worked on building really what we call tight, like brand two-pagers. So how are we elevating at the very highest level? Who is the target guest? What is the brand positioning? What are the reasons to believe in brand promise for each of our brands? So Katie, obviously, and the teams from Two Roads were involved in that. So we actually did those for all of our brands, which meant there were even some Hyatt brands that we ended up evolving. So we'll have those available. But I think as part of those webinars, there'll be an opportunity for us to go deeper into those brands. So the timing is a little bit TBD. It'll probably be a little bit phased. So obviously, as brands become available on Hyatt.com, we'll have to make sure. So they'll start with Thompson, making sure that they're really comfortable on Thompson, since that's going to be the brand that's available and bookable first. And then we'll kind of roll out the timing as part of that integration process accordingly.
One other note too, Heather, that I was thinking of. So one thing we've been doing, so Ben, Jeff, and myself have been meeting department by department with Hyatt over the last several months and really deeping dive into all of our brands, our property stories, and just how we all operate. And we have the opportunity to go out to the Hyatt reservations office February 18th and 19th, and we'll be doing that share out with them one-on-one, face-to-face. So we're continuing to educate everyone at Hyatt about destination and our property. So we'll continue to do that as well.
That's a great point. Yeah, that ability to send for you guys to go out to Omaha is really super critical, and I know it's welcomed, and folks out there are super excited to host you.
Agreed. Any other questions out there?
Okay. If there's not, or if questions pop up, because I know sometimes it's hard when you're on the spot, please feel free to reach out to me directly. So my email is heather.geisler, Geisler, @hyatt.com, or via Katie. Katie and I talk all the time. We're really excited. She's going to come to Chicago next week. And I am happy, as I said, to answer as much as I can. It is obviously, the one thing I would say probably in closing is this is going to be a little bit of there may be some growing pains associated with this. And sometimes we may not be able to answer everything right then and there, but just know, I think that we are committed to making sure that this is as seamless and smooth as possible, that we are really, the most important thing for us is to continue to maintain open channels of communication, and we will do our best to make sure that we can get back to you with answers or insights as we have them. But I just want to thank you all again for the opportunity to join you today, and I'm so excited to be working with Katie and with all of you guys moving forward.
Awesome.
Heather, I have
Heather.
one more question. I'm sorry. This is Kirsten with Snowmass. I just thought of this during your closing remarks, so I apologize for jumping in at the end. But is there a place on Hyatt Connect where there's information that we should be looking at? Is there a marketing section the way we used to have on SharePoint for this team? Is it all going to transfer over? Or do we just kind of wait for communication to come to us in our inbox?
As it relates to tools and resource, or what kind of information specifically? And that'll help me, I think, better answer your question.
My question's pretty vague. I don't really have specifics. It's just that we used to have this central spot, and I'm just wondering if we should just kind of sit back and wait to hear from things regarding integration, or if there's a proactive place where we could just check in and see stuff so that we know what's coming.
Yeah, I think in terms of timing on when crossover is happening and trainings and things like that.
Yeah, Kirsten, hi, it's Donna. My IT guy told us yesterday that they were migrating SharePoint last night. So I made the assumption that everything from SharePoint was going to migrate.
Okay, let me do this. So this is Katie. So I'm going to double check because, Heather, what Kirsten's referring to, so there's a couple things on SharePoint. So SharePoint is our intranet, similar to Hyatt Connect.
Okay.
But we had this really robust page built out for the Marketing Affinity team where we shared years and years of best practices. We have PowerPoint presentations. We have all of our marketing toolkits, our mentorship program. So it's just a really great portal for all of our marketing team. So I think what's going to happen is that's going to transfer over. So I just put a note just to make sure that's happening because we definitely want to keep all that great, rich content and best practices that we have there. So I'll check on that. And then the second thing is, I'm under the impression, and you guys tell me if I'm wrong, are you receiving the Hyatt updates every week? Like an email that's sent out and it has like a bunch of, you know, communications within it. Are you guys receiving that in the field?
If we go to the Hyatt.com email address, because that hasn't been migrated with our destination.com, we have to go to our separate email address to check it.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so that's coming, I think. They'll probably, and I can't speak to it, and I'm not sure if Heather can, but that you should start receiving those once maybe they change over the email addresses. And my understanding, what I've been told is you'll still have the destination hotels.com emails, but we do need to make sure that you're getting those Hyatt communications, and I'm not sure when that's happening, but we can, you know, write that down and ask. And that
I think we can.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say we can confirm that, Katie.
Okay, cool. So I'll write that down for Heather and I to follow up and then share with you. But that's a really good question because one of the things that we wanted to talk about, and I know I've received a lot of questions from this team, is the marketing summit. So historically, as most of you know, this team attended the Sales Marketing Revenue Summit in January every year, where we celebrate a lot of our, you know, top performers and things like that, but we also have the educational component. And we are really excited about Hyatt having a marketing summit. It's April, and I actually have it on my next slide here, April 16th through the 18th. It's in Chicago. The cost is $1,200 plus T&E. It is great. It's fantastic, and it's specific to marketing, which I'm really thrilled about because historically we've always had it with revenue and sales, which is great too from a networking standpoint, but the content is really rich. And we're working with Erica, who's on Heather's team, to create the itinerary. Matter of fact, I have a call with her in about an hour to talk about it. So we hope that you come, and this was sent out yesterday via Hyatt. So I'll make sure to pull that out and send it to this team with information because we absolutely want to make sure you have the invite and can ask for the funds, hopefully have it budgeted to attend. And, you know, this is the opportunity, too, where we want to celebrate our top performers. So Heather is aware that we did Marketer of the Year and Rising Star, and we have selected those for 2018. So we'll want to celebrate those as well at some point. Maybe it's at the summit, maybe not. But we'll make sure you get that information so that you can sign up and hopefully join us in Chicago.
Yeah, I mean, this will be the third year that we did the marketing summit, and we just for which was we really felt like there wasn't an opportunity for us to in our existing, you know, kind of meetings schedule for us to really focus on property marketing and where there were opportunities. So this is going to be, it is obviously focused on property, but it also, there's a number of sessions that are led by, you know, Hyatt Digital Resources and our other cross-functional colleagues. So it would be it's going to be a really awesome, I think, Hyatt 101 for you all as well. So we really hope that you'll join us. And it's also a lot of fun. And it's in April, which is a better time to come to Chicago than in January and February. So hopefully we will be a little bit warmer and a little less damp in April.
Awesome. That's going to be really, really fun. Any other questions before we jump? Just a couple wrap-up notes for Heather? Because on my list I do have, we'll follow up on SharePoint, we'll follow up on the email and communications, and then we'll absolutely make sure to send out the email regarding the summit. And then just a couple other heads up. So we are working with Hyatt on a photography audit. As most of you know, we're really trying to ensure that we have the right agreements, the licenses for not only our stock photos, but also the photos that we shoot on property for each of our property brands. So we're going to be going through an audit as we transition over the digital library and all of those assets. We need to make sure we have legal documentation on having rights to those images. So we're going to be working with you on ensuring we have all those agreements and documents. So that's coming up. And then the next call that we have is March 6th. So we'll be working with the marketing leadership team to create that. And thanks for everyone filling out the survey and providing topics on what you want to hear from us over the next year. Without that, I think that's pretty much it. Heather, thank you so much again for joining our call. We're really excited about moving over to Hyatt and being a part of this amazing marketing team and branding team, and just appreciate your time and passion, and we're excited about the future ahead. So thanks again, and thanks everyone for joining the call. We will share the presentation and the recording of the call, but please reach out to Heather or myself if you need anything. Thanks for your time, and have a great day.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you. It was awesome.
Thank you.
Thanks. Bye-bye.